Yo, yo, good morning, everybody. DREWSKII here, or Andreas, however you like it. This is basically episode 2 of me launching and actually working on my AI-powered design agency. So I wanted to make a quick video to show you today's updates. So I took a few hours working with Manus, and I will explain how. And I made a few changes to my 3 main websites, which is the studio one, which is the one that the client will probably see. Then based on the flow, you will probably go ahead and see the actual portfolio that I have. And as you see, I've done a lot of updates. And then if everything goes well and I actually land a client, then the best possible way is to probably introduce a pricing slash quote unquote checkout area, which is also updated to the new standards. And in today's video, I basically want to go through how I made this possible. So the first thing that I wanted to tackle is basically refine the copy and create a better brand positioning for myself and actually use my own tone and voice to capture all the sections of all 3 websites properly. So I personally used Manus in order to do that. You can use any LLM that you want, to be honest. It's not really a Manus exclusive. A very good tip that I would give is that it's better to have a customized LLM. So it's better to adopt a persona, either that's a branding expert or a graphic design expert, whatever fits your own criteria, because having a more customized agent combined with the flow that I'm going to showcase to you, it can give you great results, and it can establish a tone and voice that's very similar to yours. And you can literally apply this and update your copy the same way that I did. So in my case, I was using Manus. I established a persona with him that is basically a very strict kind of design expert, etc., etc. And then in order for me to uncover my actual tone and voice, what I did is that I presented the previous state of those 3 websites. And I also presented, I think, my YouTube channel and some other stuff about me. And the good thing about Manus is that it can crawl the web. So definitely choose an LLM that can do that. After that, I was like, the best way possible, I believe, to be able to capture my tone and voice will be to actually reply to some sort of questions. So I was like, please provide 5 questions that I can reply to using natural language. And this literally unlocked everything, because after I replied, I used a voice function in order to capture my spoken word instead of typing it out. And it literally helped a ton, because after I did this exercise, Manus basically compiled the document for me that kind of explained some key areas of how I speak, or the tone that I'm using, or how my approach is. And it definitely helped a lot. So using this framework, basically, I was then like, okay, let's start examining its website one by one so that we can start updating the copy. So let's go back to the Google Doc. So for DREWSKII.info, which is the portfolio one, I basically changed some headlines. I made them more refined. I built brands that actually work too. I built AI-powered brands. Some updates to headlines. One of the coolest parts that I added kind of instantly, which was super cool, is the what I actually do section. If we go there, this what I actually do section literally follows the same style as this one, and they don't even communicate. They don't really exist in the same code base. So it's pretty interesting that using Windsurf, let me open up the correct Windsurf window for this. So I was basically in this specific chat, or maybe a previous one, and I was literally like, let's create a new section. Let's place it below my about, and let's add a grid that's 2 by 2. that basically adds all of this copy. And basically with correct text hierarchy, the way that you present text, for example, if you type out title, AI design education, then add space and then add your paragraph, AI is more likely to understand that this should be the title and not part of body, for example, the more secondary text. So it's always good to basically structure your text properly, and that can make Windsurf understand how to refine it better. So this section was literally one-shotted. I'm not sure if I can find the correct chat right now, but I literally just said what I said, and it produced it perfectly with the icons as well, which was very cool, actually. And it really, really is almost similar to this one. I think the corner radius might be different, but it might not be as well. So I'm very excited that this cohesiveness works so nicely. The next update that I did was I updated the copy for a few of the buttons because it was more vague. For example, here in the selected works, instead of saying something that's more understandable, it was like visit website, but it doesn't actually communicate anything. So a join free community makes it more understandable. Even though it's a project, it's better to have a CTA that's more clear. So I refined those buttons. And then that was pretty much it for DREWSKII info. And then another major update that I did that was super cool was that I basically added this My AI workflow section that also exists on my studio website in a slightly different format, where now I'm basically laying out the majority of AI tools that I'm actively using. And then whenever you hover over one of them, you get a short description of how I'm using this tool, what this tool does. And I also have a small truncated rectangle here that basically implies that I'm constantly exploring more. So I find this section very interesting, and I wanted to add an iteration of it to my portfolio as well, just to make it more understandable as to what I'm doing, because somebody might not visit the studio and they might visit only the portfolio page. So I opened Windsurf and I opened my code base for Studio DREWSKII. I launched a Windsurf preview, a browser preview, and then with send element object, I captured this component area, and I literally talked to Windsurf and I said, duplicate this component, create the subfolder inside our code base that is not connected to any of our active code base. And I just want to use this component to my other website, and I will further refine it from there. And it actually created this isolated component, and it was this one, AI Tools Showcase. And what I did after that was that I literally grabbed this and pasted this inside my code base for DREWSKII.info, which is my portfolio. And I also grabbed all of the icons that you see here. I added them to my code base. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a way to do this with AI and find all of the logos. So I literally used Figma and I manually captured each and every one. I uploaded them, and the incredible thing is that I just pasted those two components. I went back to my code base here for my portfolio, and what I said to Windsurf now is that, look, I want you to use this component that I just added, but with a simple twist. Instead of having a full height view that is literally making our website super long, and I wouldn't want that. Now, instead of having a full height view of all of the tools, just to make it easier for somebody to scroll down for this website, I decided to ask Windsurf to truncate this section and add a simple see all tools. So whenever you click on that, all of the tools appear. Now you can hover over them and everything is visible. And then you can basically close this tab open it whenever you want. So it's a more elegant and shorter way to present the same exact section, but in a different style, and a different website, but it produces the same exact result. So it's actually super cool that it works that easy and that fast. You ask your code editor to create a duplicate, a subfolder that's not connected to anything, and then you grab all of the necessary library elements, the logos, any images, so that they can load properly to the next project, and you're good to go. Especially in my case, both websites follow the exact same design system, so that's definitely something that you need to consider. But I'm pretty sure that even if you don't have the same system, if you drop the component and ask Windsurf to first refine it or create an actual component based on your design system of this specific project, I feel like it can do a great job at refining it, and then you can add this other component, no worries. So this was one of the most major updates that I did, and I was very glad that it worked pretty much effortlessly. So next one, what I did was, because on Studio DREWSKII I made a ton of updates in terms of copy, pricing, how sections look, how buttons look. I also wanted to make the same changes to my active quote-unquote checkout page. So again, I did the same exact thing. I presented my websites to Manus. I told that's the copy. There are some inconsistencies with pricing and some other certain areas, so let's refine them properly. And I just opened this project on Windsurf, and I went section to section, updating the copy properly. Before it was very scattered, and for some reason, I also included a CDA section to book a call, which was pretty odd, because this is kind of the page somebody would see if they're ready to make a purchase. So booking a call again would be kind of not cool. So I just kept the white choose us section. I updated all of those pricing areas. I definitely need to dedicate a video to updating the Polar integration that I'm using for payments. And I also want to test a $1 payment to make it 100% sure that it works. But either way, if somebody wants to book me and work with me, we can figure it out. Don't worry. This is easy to fix. But yeah, that was a joke, kind of. I don't know. So yeah, this was a major update for the pricing section here, the live website for that. And what else? Regarding Studio DREWSKII, biggest updates besides the tool here were just copy related. So let me think. What else should I need to talk about? Regarding copy, I feel like the biggest copy change that I did is that I applied my own tone and voice, and I explained it how. So besides that, I feel like the whole process probably took about 2 hours. I started, 2 hours max. Of course, you can use, instead of Windsurf, Klein, Cursor, whatever code editor you would like to use. If you don't want to use Manus, you can definitely use ChatGPT. You can drop screenshots of your live websites and ask for copy improvements. You can use OpenRouter, as I mentioned in another video. So there's a lot of things that you can pick and choose and apply the same methodology. And what else? Let me think. Honestly, this is pretty much it for this episode. I'm very happy with how cohesive everything looks. One of the projects that I'm very intrigued to work with, maybe in a live stream as well, is to improve my AI enhancer tool, which I really love. I have a lot of newfound knowledge now, so I can definitely improve this. And I was really thinking of doing a live stream on school in my AI free community, which is called AI Design Club. And I highly suggest you join. I will drop a link below. And besides the free school community, you can always visit studiodrewski.com It's now my actual AI powered design agency. I offer services, and I would love to connect with more of you. So see you in the next one.